It's known as the Happy Slam, but it seems not everyone got the memo.
We've always had such a great reputation in Australia of being the best tennis fans in the world. And undoubtedly that's a reputation that is now under threat.
At the Australian Open, the crowds are playing a bigger role in one of tennis's biggest shows.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, not during the running, thank you.
And they're getting on players' nerves.
Sorry, mate, I have a wife. We can have a drink, though. Maybe you had a few already.
I think the crowds are raucous and they're there for entertainment and for a show. And honestly, I don't want to say that's a bad thing because I think tennis sometimes could use that extra enthusiasm.
It's all fun, but when you're about to serve, it's really difficult.
Is it the worst you've experienced?
Yeah, I think so.
I think what makes it difficult for a lot of players is if they've never experienced it before and it's a brand new situation.
He was being heckled and he didn't appreciate it from the fan.
Players like Daniil Medvedev have spoken about how he almost had to mentally learn how to cope with, if 5-6 fans are yelling at me or heckling me. I can't let that ruin my entire day.
The atmosphere and fan experience has been one of the draw cards of the Australian Open. The challenge for tournament organisers is keeping the tennis as the headline, not the crowd's behaviour.
This has now become a 3-week extravaganza of sport, of entertainment that we showcase to the rest of the world.
Well, I think there's a big culture shift in that a tennis tournament is becoming a big event that you might not know a thing about tennis and you're attending. And I think that's often the case, that a lot of these fans are being introduced to these new players. Yes, there's certainly alcohol involved, and that will, I think, foster, more boisterousness from the fans.
For some, the crowds are vibrant and energetic.
We were at the Alcaraz-Djokovic match last night, and that was a little crazy, but it was a crazy match. So I love seeing people excited about their favorites.
For others, the crowds and alcohol can be a problem. This fight broke out at a bar outside. And inside the stadiums, spectators booing and yelling out between points or when players are trying to serve.
Thank you.
American Danielle Collins chose to take on the crowd in her second round match against local hope Destiny Ieva.
Collins ends up winning the match and goading the crowd, because she is a personality that engages with that, and at the same time that was a perfect melting pot because there was an unlikely Aussie on one of those public access courts, last match of the day. So it was always going to be a little bit of a reaction point because of who Collins is and what the crowd circumstances were then.
If I'm out here, I might as well just take that big fat paycheck. And Coco and we love a good 5-star vacation.
Down under, courtside etiquette was thrown out the window in 2022.
The rowdier the better from everyone, honestly. See Pearson come here.
When the Special Ks, Australians Thanasi Kokkinakis and Nick Kyrgios took the doubles tournament by storm.
I'm not finished. I want to win this thing, to be honest, bro.
They've probably been the catalyst to an accelerated change at the Australian Open with the way they played, incredibly entertaining, and also the way they wanted to be seen. I mean, they don't mind the limelight, those two.
Nick Kyrgios has set the tone for many matches played across Melbourne Park.
He's one of these polarizing figures, and obviously he's a passionate basketball fan. I think he wants to see some of the NBA energy within tennis.
And it's not just crowd behaviour that's come under fire, so has the host broadcaster, Channel 9.
Novak, he's overrated. Novak's a has-been. Novak, kick him out.
A few days ago, a famous sports journalist here from Australia who works for a main broadcaster of Australian Open at Channel 9 decided to mock Serbian fans, and he made insulting and offensive comments towards me.
Broadcaster Tony Jones and Channel 9 have since publicly apologised to Novak Djokovic for the offence caused by the comments, which were intended to be a joke.
I honestly think he was disrespected, particularly with the line, kick him out. And I think this all dates back to a rather contentious relationship Djokovic has had in the past with Australia when he was, of course, deported from the country over issues with his vaccine passport.
I've been a little bit shocked this week with how players have been treated by the broadcasters.
Overnight, American semi-finalist Ben Shelton voiced his concerns.
There's some comments that have been made to me in post-match interviews by a couple of different guys, whether it was, hey, Monfils is old enough to be your dad. Maybe he is your dad.
Firstly, on Gale, I know he's an entertainer. What does he mean to you? He's almost your dad. Not really. Sorry, Brian. You stay there. I'm going to get to you. Talk us a little bit about Gale.
Was that a black joke?
I'm not sure.
I just don't think a comment that's respectful from a guy I've never met before in my life.
Is the host broadcaster and the players, are they on the same page?
Most of the time. But you're dealing with conflicting interests as well. I mean, Channel 9 is here to set itself up for a big rating season, and the internationals, they come here as a 2-week stop on a 52-week calendar.
Competing interests, but one thing is clear, the Australian Open is putting the fans first.
I think it's probably changed for the better in all respects. It's an amazing experience, but at the same time, we also need to remember that these are highly pressured, highly paid athletes, and it's their office, so make sure you go and respect that. At the same time, you go and have a bloody good time.